Okay, so this is a tour of the Dungeons and Dragons character builder, which you get to download and install as part of your membership to Dungeons and Dragons Insider. Which, if you haven't checked that out and you play, I highly recommend it. It's boils down to about $5 a month to have access to all the tools, and by far the character builder, which is their first tool out, is it's totally worth the money. So let's take a tour by building a new character. First thing you do, you open up the character builder and you're prompted to choose your race. You can look through each of the race options, and basically, as you can see, this is the same content that you would have in the player's handbook. You can also scroll down a little bit and see there are some other races to choose from that are specific to other content releases, whether it's additional manuals or Dragon magazines. But this is a great way to kind of see the content that you wouldn't normally see just from within the player's handbook. So let's go ahead and choose something fun. Let's choose a halfling, and we'll go ahead and then because halflings know a language other than common, you're then prompted to choose that language. So for fun, just because it's ironic, let's choose giant. So you have a halfling that speaks the language of the giant. So once that's done and you click next step, you're now prompted to pick your class. You can scroll through and look at each of the classes and see what their different abilities are, what their roles are. You can see some descriptions down below about what sort of makes for a good warlock or a good rogue, and just get an idea so that when you make a choice, you'll know that this matches your style of play. I'm going to go ahead and choose a rogue. I think halflings make fantastic rogues. And you'll also see, though, below there's some sneak peeks into the different classes that will be available in the next release of the Player's Handbook. So we have the Bard, the Druid, the Invoker, and then there's also the class of Sword Mage, which is from the Forgotten Realms Player's Handbook. So we'll go ahead, choose Rogue, and then at this point you have the ability to choose your build, and you'll see there's 2 builds from the Player's Handbook, but there are also 2 additional builds which just came out with the Martial Power Handbook. And so as different books come out, different compendiums, this tool gets updated so that you always have the most recent choices. So we're going to have an aerialist rogue. I think that sounds a lot of fun, and because of that, I think you can also choose tactics besides the build if you want, so those are kind of cool, but we'll go ahead and choose that first one. After you choose your build, you then choose your tactics, and we'll choose the Artful Dodger. Next step, if your DM instructs you to pick a background because you're playing a campaign that's in a specific realm or area, you can do so. We'll go ahead and skip that. And now we get to our ability scores. You have several choices. You can auto-pick, you can roll your dice, or you can use an array. So for those of you who are familiar with arrays, you sort of choose a standard array that keeps you within the guidelines for your level, and then you can sort of go up and down based on you know, how you'd like to play it out. So just kind of playing around here. Also, if you're brand new to this, I recommend auto-pick. They take a look at, you know, your class and then your race, and they pick numbers that make the most sense for what you're doing. So in this case, having a +5 to your dexterity at level 1 that's a pretty sweet deal. So we'll go ahead, next step. Now you have your skill training choices. Down below in the checklist, it lets you know how many you can choose. So you've got 4 choices to make. and they've bolded the different areas that the rogue would train in at level 1. So I think acrobatics, that's a natural. Go ahead and train that. Athletics, it's another good one. Streetwise, that'd be pretty cool. And finally, maybe intimidate. And that's my dog with the squeaky toy, so sorry about that. Okay, so now you get your feat choices. These are pulled from, again, the player's handbook as well as any additions. You'll have feats based on your racial feats, your class, other feats based on, the numbers for your ability scores. Also at the top you'll see that they already have some suggestions, and since you get to make one, we'll go ahead and choose this Sure Climber, because sort of climbing and attacking from above. So let's go ahead and choose that, and then go to the next step. So now we get to our power choices. At level 1, you get 2 at-wills, 1 encounter power, 1 daily power. So first we look at our level 1 at-will powers. You click on the power and you come here to the right, and you'll see the different attacks and what happens if you hit, what the keywords are. It just gives you all the information that you'd normally see from the player's handbook. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a couple really quickly so we can move along. Now I've got my encounter powers. I get to choose 1. So, and again, as you'll see, there's player's handbook as well as the martial powers. So every time something new gets added, you have the opportunity to take advantage. And finally, daily powers. So we'll just grab one there, and moving right along. So now we have, we're shopping. We've got our equipment and magic items, and with starting out, you can auto pick, and they'll take into account the money that you have, the weight you can carry, and what you need, and you'll be assigned your gear. You can also go in, and explore around, take a look at the different items. They'll have descriptions here on the right. There's everything from weapons to magic armor, regular armor, adventuring gear, everything you could possibly need. But once you get this all selected, you move to the next step, and this is where you get to name your character. So we will call our character here Bob. Bob the Halfling. He is male, and we're just going to make him unaligned with no deity to worship. We'll put him on the tall side at 4 foot 2 inches and a solid 80 pounds, and a young, on the youngish side, so about 62. You can also fill in the name of your adventuring company, your real name, as well as your RPGA number, and that'll all be displayed on your character sheet. And so we move to the next step, which is to save your character, and then when you're ready, you can open up the character sheet and take a look. And this is pretty cool. They print out everything from a filled out character sheet to the cards that you need when you play. Your power cards to keep track of what you do and do not have as you're playing along. You can also go in and choose your own portrait, so you can, check out the web, find some cool stuff, upload it. You can enter information about the background. And then if you want, here's where you can keep a journal of the various quests that you've done during your game. You can also check out the different campaign settings, so if there's specific books that your DM is using and you want to pull from that, you can do so. So here you have it. This is the Dungeons & Dragons character builder. I highly recommend checking it out, and have a nice day.